Welcome to our coaching chat. This is week 3 on our topic called Target Your Success. And let me remember why is it not showing up?
Did you say you hit escape?
I hate it when it does this. Okay, so let me go. I'm just going to go here. All right, we're moving now. Okay, so target your success. This is week 3. Let's go kind of over what we've talked about already. We talked about what is our goal, and that is just educating people. If we approach this by we have something to share, we've got to figure out what it is their need is and marry the two together. What we also talked about is that this business we build it as we go. And no matter whether we have a huge network or we don't, it is a process of connecting with people. And that's what is key. And then the last point that we made was, are we committed to this process? And what does that process look like? So we talked about, first of all, collecting friends. I love Bob Goff's statement, collecting friends. We talked about where do we go to collect friends? And then how do we connect with them? And then once we've connected with them, and this is what we're going to talk about today, how do we cultivate that relationship, moving them from finding a prospect, connecting with them, and then cultivating them into becoming a customer. Last week, we talked about where do we go to find these friends. We talked about looking at our phone, looking at our email, social media, and then just getting out and talking to people. So let me stop right now and just ask. So you're going to have to speak up because I can't see everyone's face. How many people have literally built a new memory jogger since we started this series? I see Karen. I can't see everyone. So who else? Who else has really been building their memory jogger list as we've gone through this process?
Me.
Anne? All right, I
Yeah.
got Anne. Was that Anne?
Yes.
Okay, who else? I got Anne and Karen. I can't see, so you got to speak up. Who else?
I have Gloria.
Gloria. Okay, good. Who else?
I have
Thompson. Renee.
All right, so it sounds like a lot of you. Hopefully, if you have not, you have 2 weeks between next week. We won't have our coaching chat. So the following week, we're going to start our new series. We want everyone to have at least 100 names on a memory jogger. So get a piece of paper and write these to do out. We got 2 weeks to do it. At least 100 names on your memory jogger. And then secondly is a system to ensure that every week, and I'm going to show you my little system here. Here's my list. These are my list of people I'm going to connect with. And I just kind of print them off and put them in my notebook. That every single week, we move from our memory jogger. We pick 10 names that week, and then somehow, some way, we need a system to make sure that we connect with them. So put in the chat, how many people say, yes, I've got a memory jogger with 100 names, and yes, I have a system that holds me accountable to taking 10 off that memory jogger, making a hot hands list that week, and connecting with 10 people. So put in the chat if you feel good about your system and your memory jogger, because that'll tell us you're ready to go as we start the new series. So as we start this new series, how do you connect with these people? So I'm trying to get them from, I've got my memory jogger, so I know who I need to talk to. And then I've connected with them. How do I now, last week we talked about getting curious and asking questions, getting passionate, getting knowledgeable. Those are the things that we want to do to begin that connection process. And so we're kind of and we talked last week about sometimes it helps to break up that memory jogger into sections of people. You know, especially if you want to do an event for that particular group of people. I know earlier on the call, we talked about how do you build, sometimes bringing people together that have things in common, you can get them on a call a little easier. So think about, maybe it's a neighborhood, maybe you do a little event at your house, or maybe you do a Zoom and bring all those people together. So that's where this memory jogger and almost sectioning them off by categories is beneficial. And we talked about that last week. So this week, what we're going to talk about is how do we begin this cultivating process of really bringing these people that we've identified, that we've started having conversations with, how do we bring them to that next level? So first, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Am I positioning myself in a way that I'm attracting these people to me? So let me ask, are you the kind of person that people want to be around? So let me throw out a question. Who comes to mind when you think about, I like being with that person? Think of who it is, and then let me hear from you. What is it about that person that attracts you to them?
They're positive.
Love it. Nobody likes to be around someone always complaining, always negative. So I think as you think, write down on a scrap of paper, what attracts you to people? Positivity. What else?
Friendliness.
Friendliness. I love it. I was talking earlier to Sandy. I was like, Sandy, how are you getting all these partners? I think she's brought 4 new partners on this summer. And she said, she goes to the gym and she said, I just say hello and start talking to people. So being friendly, being positive, give me some other things that attracts us to people. Who are some of your favorite people? And what is it that you like about them?
Energetic.
Love it. I agree 100%. I am attracted to people's energy. Thank you, Gloria. So we've got positivity, energy, friendliness. What else? One more.
What about honesty or loyalty? One of those.
Loyalty. I love it. Someone you feel safe with. They're not going to talk about you. They're not going to criticize you. Love that. Loyalty. So when we think about cultivating these people and moving them from just somebody that we know, we want to cultivate them into our business, into our closer net of friends, into as a customer. So the 4 things I heard, and you write down who else, and then ask ourselves, am I loyal? Am I a loyal friend? Am I positive? Am I energetic? Am I friendly? Ask yourself what you like. Am I that kind of person? The next thing I wrote, do you compliment and encourage or acknowledge others? You know, an encouraging word or a compliment costs us nothing. Now we got to be sincere with it, but people don't do that. People really don't. We're all consumed about ourselves, but I'm telling you what, just a word of encouragement, you're going to attract people and they're going to warm up to you. So think about, how can I send out a handwritten note, send out a sweet text? I'm thinking of someone whose birthday's today. Not just happy birthday. What if I took 5 minutes to say, and I'm thinking of my friend Kathy, what if I said, here's what I love about you, Kathy. You will drop whatever you're doing to go take someone a meal, to invite someone somewhere, to help someone. This gal was the most servant-hearted person. What if I took 5 more minutes to encourage her, acknowledge her, and compliment her? You think that's going to go a lot further than just happy birthday? So another thing that attracts you to people, and you become more attractive by just simply acknowledging others. And then the next thing, are you developing yourself so that you have new information to share? My oldest daughter is right now getting her master's in counseling. And I'm telling you, I can't wait when I see her calling me to chat with her. Why? she always has some new information to share. So let me ask this question. What books are you reading right now? What podcasts are you listening to? Do you have a mentor? Do you go to church? You know, what are the things that can inspire and develop and grow you? Are you meeting? Are you doing a Zoom with your upline, learning in this business? You know, how can that whole area of health, just learning something new continuously gives me something to share with my customers and prospective customers. So how can we become more attractive to cultivate those relationships? Sandy, you look like you're going to say something. Sandy Thompson, you got something you wanted to say? Oh, okay.
I was just stretching.
All right. Second thing, authenticity. What do people read from your body language, your energy, your actions? You know, we are in a health and wellness industry. If we show up and we're just kind of, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm tired, or how well does that come across? You know, what is my body language telling people? And so when we think of authenticity, I want to feel, I remember this. I remember when I was dating Scott and I would jump in his car in college, and before I'd say, how you doing today? And I remember his response. He'd always hit the back of the seat and say, I feel good. I feel great. You know, it's those kind of things that draw you to people. And think about, how am I showing up? Am I being authentic? And am I having that kind of energy that people want to be around, and actions? How about awareness? Do you pay attention to how someone is responding to you? You ever been around someone who has a really low self-awareness? They're just talk, 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 and they're not asking you any questions whatsoever. You know, one of my other daughters called me this weekend. I was talking to her and she said, you know, I really work hard on asking people questions and asking about them. And she was telling me about this one girl. She goes, I bet I asked her 6 or 7 questions. She never asked me a word about myself. You know, people notice that, even if maybe they mentally, it's not totally aware, it's a they kind of subconsciously notice. Are we getting eye contact, or are we giving eye contact with people? You know, and what are our facial expressions when someone is talking? Are we really listening? Are we leaning in? Are we really wanting to hear what they say? You know, because if we're sharing a bunch about Juice Plus and they're getting bored, and are we paying attention to that? Like, maybe do I just need to stop? I need to ask them questions. I need to get back to their needs. I'm talking too much. If we're self-aware, we'll start picking up on that. If they're not asking us questions back, then I need to redirect what I'm saying. And I need to be aware enough to notice, okay, they're not ready to go there yet. My husband, Scott, always talks about circling the runway. A plane's coming in for the landing and he's talking to the tower. Is it time for me to come in? And they're like, no, 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 you need to circle a bit. There's ice on the runway, or there's another plane in front of you, or it's raining too hard, or you need to go to another airport. We need to be like the tower. We need to sometimes circle the runway with people and realize, you know what, they're not there yet. And we need to be aware. I don't need to go in for the landing. Hey, you ready to get some Juice Plus? You know what? I need to pull it back up a bit and ask, what's their needs? Maybe I've not asked enough questions and I'm going in for the landing and it's not time yet. I need to ask some more questions, get to know them better, cultivate that relationship a little more. So let's heighten our awareness when it comes to watching people's eye contact, facial expression, and how well are they responding back to us. And then lastly, when we're talking about cultivating and we're moving these people from just being a connection, moving them into becoming a customer, a partner, deepening that relationship, are we doing what it takes to make it happen? A lot of times people say, I can't build this business. I can't get any customers. I've talked to everyone. But in reality, when you really start digging deep, they really haven't invested the time. You know, it really takes about 5 to 10 hours a week to really build and grow this business. Are we really investing that kind of time? A lot of times people may spend maybe a couple hours a week. I can't build the business. No, you know what? Would you go to work and work 2 hours a week and expect a 40-hour a week paycheck? Our expectations for how much we're going to make pales into comparison on how much time we invest in the business. So if we really want to hit the target when it comes to our success, we need to really take a look at how much time I am investing. Sometimes I'll have people invest a ton of time and then they'll just set it down and they won't touch it again for 2 weeks. How long would you keep a job if you worked at 80 hours 1 week and then took off for 2 weeks? How happy do you think your boss would be? Yes, good? No, I don't think so. So here's my question to you. You're your boss. How happy are you with your performance? If you were your boss and this was a 9-to-5 job, what would you be telling you? You need to work a little more hours? So think about that. Because I think sometimes in this business, we just look at the paycheck and say, dang, I really wanted 500 this month or 1,000 or 2,000, and I only got 300. If you were your boss, what would you coach you to do?
Work more hours.
Work more hours, especially in the beginning. It's like launching a rocket. If it takes a lot of effort in the beginning to get that rocket launched. We're about ready to launch a new rocket. It takes a lot more effort in the beginning to get it up and going, get those systems in place, which is what these last couple of weeks have been about, is making sure we've got systems in place so we can hit the ground running. That next thing, reach out to 2 to 3 people a day. Are we really doing that consistently? Or do we do it 3 or 4 days and then we forget about it? Consistency is the key. It's not like we have to work 40 hours to produce some really good income, but we do have to do more than 2 or 3 hours a week. It requires more time. And it requires that consistency of effort of talking to people, talking to them, following up, talking to them, following up. And then, which is that last point, is can you commit to connecting to 2 to 3 people a day and following up with 2 to 3 people a day? Can you do that? We all can. I mean, a lot of times people don't answer their phone. So it's really following up. Hey, I tried to get a hold of you, and it's sending a text that may take you 3 minutes to send. So really, when we say 2 to 3 people, if you want to see that paycheck build even more, then just talk to more people every single day. All right, we didn't get into, but I'm going to show you guys where you can go to get, hold on a second. A while back, and it's been a good while, we did a whole series of conversation starters. And so I'm going to show you guys where to go get these. And maybe having a conversation is not the issue for you, but if it is, here's where I want to show you where you can go to get some great conversation starters. Let's see here. No, dashboard. Okay. I jumped out of it. Okay. So if you come up here to verbiage, I'm sorry, let me start. It is, can everyone see? This is our team website, teamextreme.dropmark.com. Team Extreme, and Extreme doesn't have an E in it. team, XTREME, dropmark.com. Then come down to where it says verbiage. And here it says conversation openers. So if getting those conversation going is where we all struggle in a different area. But if for you it's conversation, getting that conversation going, then come right here to where it says, so we've got questions 1 through 6, 7 through 12, 13 through 18. And here's some questions, one of an easy one. What do you do for a living? And then not just stop at that, but go deeper, go into those deeper follow-up questions. How long have you been there? Do you love what you do? If you could do what you love, what would it be? So maybe have those out on your desk and review them. It goes through, we've got a total of, I think I saw 18 there. Where would you like to be in 5 years? That question there is what got me interested in having my own business. I was asked that question at a seminar. And that's what opened my mind to thinking about, you know what? I want to have my own business. If you could travel anywhere, where would you travel to? So there's 6, and there's the next series of them. And then a whole nother 18. Do you like to cook? Would you rather read a book or watch Netflix? It's just having those conversations with people, those authentic conversations opens the door and gives you permission to talk about Juice Plus. You'll get there. Remember, sometimes we just need to circle the runway for a while and build that relationship with people. The chance to come will come. Sandy.
Elaine, this is burning inside of me, and I have to say something on this awareness thing. I've been going to the gym. I've met a lot of people. It was during COVID. We were masked up. Nobody showed their eyes. Nobody wanted to look at anybody. They were afraid to talk to people and all that stuff. So anyway, I did the opposite. I talked to everybody. I said, hi, how you doing? And eventually we took our masks off and we could actually see, the way people were reacting to us. So using our eyes, people are not spatial aware. So I cannot tell you, every time I go to the gym, there is somebody that goes busting through the door just as I'm coming around the track. And they don't stop. They don't look at me. They just come on in. And if I'm not aware that they're coming through, they're going to knock me down. Okay, what I've noticed, every one of them have earbuds and they have their eyes in their phone. What I decided to do, no phone when I'm in the gym. I put it in my locker. I look at everybody that's there on the floor. Who do I know? Do I not know? Who do I want to know? Who should I talk to and come back to? Then, as we, like just last week, 2 ladies, one of them asked me to help her on the bike. I fixed her shoe. I found out she had had a knee surgery replacement, so she couldn't move. And she asked me, she said, honey, will you help me? And I said, well, I'll try, and so I figured out how to fix the clamp on her bike. And so that led to a conversation, and she needs Juice Plus tremendously. I said, would you be open? And so that's when I went back to my phone and I got my card, my business card, and I wrote my cell number down on it. And so I think the whole point of this thing with awareness, we got to get out of our phone. I know they're a really good tool, but when we're working it, you got to get out of your phone and use all your senses of awareness. Be available to talk to people and to see and to hear the need. And those antennae are up and you hear it everywhere. There's a need in everybody.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Sandy, for just driving that home. excellent example, and you are walking proof that doing what you're saying is working. So, all right, any other thoughts or questions before we wrap it up? And so 2 weeks, let's come to the week after next to this call with 100 names on a memory jogger list, a system, and then let's really be aware of like what we talked about today, that attraction piece, authenticity, awareness, and then, taking action. Anytime someone says, I can't build this business, it really kind of boils down to those things. And we've got to make sure that we're on point with all 4 of those areas and ready to go, because I want us to really start using this time to workshopping and building and really leaving this call on Monday with the game plan for the week. Any other thoughts or questions before we wrap up? Did this resonate? Does this make sense? Okay. Everybody's good. Nobody's wanting to talk to me. All right, guys, have a phenomenal week. No coaching call next week, but we're going to hit the ground running. New series, focus on the diagnosis. That's what we're going to call it. And we're going to hone in on these different categories of people, build our toolbox up so that we're ready to get out there and really this last quarter of the year, let's blow it out of the water. So thanks, you guys. Appreciate each one of you.
Thank you.
Bye, Elaine. Thank you.
Bye, thank